right, ladies and gentlemen, as you're making your way into the sanctuary, just a couple things that you need to know and start to be prepared for. All of the desserts for tonight are on display on this dessert table. We are going to play a game to start the night, and so you're going to want to have some idea what dessert you're interested in. Okay, we'll explain more. You're also going to want your table to have a designated table runner. If you need help with that, you let us know. But we are going to play a little game. We'll explain it. But take some time to go see what's over there so that you have an idea of what you might want as your dessert. We have coffee available if you want coffee. We'll bring the iced tea and lemonade in a little bit. There's water on your tables. There's more water over there. It looks like the charcuterie's already come in. But we'll have all of the iced tea and lemonade in there as well if you want that. But it's all self-serve, so help yourselves. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to our celebration. A couple more reminders. We're going to start this party in 5 minutes. If you are just now coming into the room, your directions are this. You need to make sure that you take a look at the dessert table so that you know which dessert you're interested in. We are going to play a game to begin the evening. It's called a dessert dash. Your table will need to have a designated runner, so you can think about that now. You'll need somebody who's going to dash to the dessert table, and we'll explain how that works momentarily. We'll be with you in just a little bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to make your way to your seats. We're going to get started in 2 minutes, so find your way to your seats. If you haven't had a chance to look at the desserts, now would be the time to do that real quick, but let's find your seats. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 60th anniversary of Young Life in Tucson. Thank you for coming. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here. I am delighted that you decided to come and celebrate with us tonight. Tonight, I know that we have a really fun group of people here. Some of you have been around Young Life for a very, very long time. And I also know that some of you are hearing about Young Life for maybe the very first time tonight. So we have designed tonight, to the best of our ability, to kind of explain what the mission is, to give you a taste of what Young Life is like. And we're going to honor some people tonight that helped initiate Young Life some 60 years ago. So I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited for all the different things that we have planned. But the first thing I'd like to do is just pray for tonight. So would you bow your heads with me, please? Heavenly Father, we are just grateful for tonight. Thank you for this opportunity to celebrate. Thank you, Father, for the mission of Young Life. And Father, more than anything, we're just thankful for the countless kids that have heard about you through this mission. Bless our time tonight. Help us to have a great time together. In your name we pray. Amen. All right, tonight we have a special guest speaker, Dr. Tanita Tuala-Maddox, who will come up later tonight, so we're excited that she's here. I have some people I need to thank, okay? So we've got some slides, so welcome to tonight. And tonight we had some people that helped pay for it. First of all, I want to thank the church, Catalina Foothills Church. Give them a round of applause for letting us use their sanctuary. I also want to thank, what's next? Yeah. So Ascent Companies happens to be my son-in-law, Clint, and his wife, Madison, my daughter, are here tonight. I wanted to thank them for being significant donors to the evening tonight to help underwrite the event. We had another business sponsor, Dave Pooley, and Dave and Nancy are both on my committee, so we're grateful for them. They helped with the event tonight. And then Mission Linen Supply. You know, washing and ironing linens takes a long time. And I have a friend at Mission Linen Supply that washed all these tablecloths and pressed them for us. So that was significant, I think. What's next? Gospel Supplies. We're partnering with Gospel Supplies. And I think y'all are celebrating like 80 years of business. And so we kind of collaborated on this event to bring Tanita tonight to come and speak and to bring her books and to sign books. And we'll hear more from her in just a little while. But I wanted to thank Gospel Supplies for their collaboration. Next, tomorrow. We're kind of gluttons for punishment in Young Life. But tomorrow, we planned this weekend with, I was probably too ambitious. But tomorrow we're having our 5K. At the very end of tonight, I'm going to put up a QR code. We have a number of, we're raising money for camp through this 5K. We have a number of leaders who are raising money to help kids go to winter camp. And so if you're interested in helping us or participating, let me know. We'll get you going on that thing, okay? Caps and More. Larry Montoya from Caps and More was also a business sponsor, and we're using his sponsorship to help us pay for the 5K. The last thing we're doing is tomorrow we're going to have a tailgate party. We've never done that before. But we have an office down on 5 Points, and we have decided to have a little hangout together. The game got scheduled for 1:30, and so at 11 o'clock, we're going to go from the 5K, then we're going to drive down to the office, we're going to set up our tailgate party, and from 11 o'clock to 1:30, we're going to hopefully have burgers and hot dogs and sodas. And the last sponsor that we had is Ben Forbes from Forbes Meat Company donated all the food for that. So wanted to thank them. Okay, I'm going to bring up Joe Beck. Joe's going to explain how this dessert dash. So in Young Life, we don't do anything normal. We do everything fun and exciting. And this might stress some of you out, but it's going to be okay, okay? So just roll with it. All right, Joe, it's all yours.
Hello, everyone. Does this one work? Does this? Just this one? Just this one? Oh, does this work now? Okay, great. Oh, awesome. Sorry, I like the freedom. I'm just antsy that way. All right. Who's ready to run and then eat sweet things? Anybody? Anybody? Okay, great. This is how it's going to work. Not now, but when I say so. Gosh, you guys are a bunch of young life people. All right, now when it says that what's going to happen is you're going to have a little bit of time. There are going to be some videos that are going to play. While they're playing, you're going to have some time to utilize the smaller of the two envelopes on your table that has your table number on it. In case you didn't know, my friend Steve is going to come up here later, and he's going to give you the opportunity to let your trusty checkbook do some really cool stuff tonight. This is not that, but it's the time that you get to warm it up. So what we're going to do is while the videos are playing, you get to talk to your table and you get to say, what dessert on that table looks like we can't leave here without it, right? And then you're going to decide what you want to do in order to ensure that you get first dibs at that dessert. So you're going to put any amount of money in that envelope that you want. Cash, checks, Bitcoin. If you brought your hard drive with Bitcoin on it, put it in that envelope, right? So you're going to put it in that envelope, and then when you're ready, when your table has put in everything you want to put in, you're going to just hold it up, and we're going to come around and we're going to collect that envelope. While the videos are playing, we're going to go back, we're going to count them, and then we're going to organize them in order from highest to least. And that is going to be your dashing order, okay? So after the videos play, every table, we'll collect them. So when the videos are done, I'll get back up here, and every table is going to select one dasher. How many dashers? Perfect. Awesome. This is going to be your speediest person. If you are like looking around your table and you're like, you guys, we did not bring the right personnel to compete in this, that's okay, because we do have some high schoolers and leaders who will be walking around the room collecting envelopes and stuff. So if you're like, yo, you look like you are a high school athlete, you just bring them over here and just say, hey, you're going to be our dasher, okay? So you can select a representative. So every table gets one dasher, and the dashers are all going to line up on this wall, and then I'm going to call out the table numbers in order from most to least money in that envelope. When I call out your table number, your dasher will then run across the room through all the tables to the dessert table, try to find the dessert that your table wants the most, and grab it and bring it back to your table. So there could be some elbows thrown, and your dasher needs to be abundantly clear on maybe your top 3 choices just in case they get there and something's gone, right? Once everyone gets their dessert, we'll serve it up and we have more to go. Does that make sense? Everyone good on that? Great. So talk to your table, figure out where you're going to put in your envelope. When you have everything in there that's going to be in there, just hold it straight up in the air and we'll come around and collect it. While that's going, we're going to play a couple videos for you guys. All right, does anyone not have their envelope in? Right here, bam. Maria has her envelope in the air. Boom. Anyone else? Perfect. Okay, looks like we got all the envelopes in. We need as much time as we can. Oh, we got one right here. We need as much time to count because we're in ministry. We're not math majors. So we got some videos coming up for you. Please enjoy these videos for you. Thank you.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for.
Hey everybody, welcome to Young Life Tucson's 60-year anniversary celebration party fiesta extravaganza. My name is Sam Partain. I was a volunteer Young Life leader in the 90s, and then from 2000 to 2019 I was on staff. That's 19 years, which is only a fraction of the time that this mission has been operating in Tucson. Thanks for being a part of it. Thanks for being here tonight. Have a great time, and I'll see you at the 120-year anniversary celebration. Goodbye, everybody.
Hey, Young Life Tucson. My name is Steve Blacksmith, and I'm coming to you from my back porch here, beautiful community of Evans in the Seattle, Washington area. It's my home, but I spent 8 years with Tucson as the home of myself and my family. It was the greatest adventure of our lives. So incredible for the formation of our family, of our young boys, and of our faith as we worked together and saw incredible things happen in the lives of kids through Young Life. Really fun to be here with you, celebrating 60 years of Young Life. Way to go.
Hi, I'm Bill Hamilton. I served the Young Life Mission in Tucson from 1988 to 1999. And I gotta say, it's not very exciting talking to the phone right now. But I hope you get the feel that I'm really glad that you guys are there celebrating 60 years of Young Life in the old Pueblo. Celebrating is what Young Life's very good at. It's in their DNA. I hope you have a great time. So may the Lord really bless you tonight as you look back and you look forward and you wonder how the Lord's going to bless the mission in the future. He's blessed it a lot already. He's going to do it again. So thanks so much for being there.
Happy birthday, Tucson Young Life. My name is Casey Borden, and I'm sending this from Portland, Oregon. I got involved with Young Life in Tucson actually as a middle schooler because it was hosted at my best friend's house because his mom went to Young Life. And so it got started at Emily Gray Junior High, and then I stayed involved through high school and college, and then eventually went on staff. But it all started with the legacy of somebody having gone to Young Life in high school and what they carried with them through the rest of their life. And it was so special. And I met the Lord through Young Life. I met some of my best friends through Young Life, some of my favorite experiences. My wife was involved with Young Life. Her dad was on staff. Young Life just means so much to us. And Tucson is home, and we love it so much. We love you guys. Happy birthday.
Marty Caldwell here. I am currently serving as the Senior Vice President of Young Life in the former Soviet Union, now called the Mid-Eurasia Division. I'm in Hong Kong, and I send my warmest greetings to Tucson Young Life. 60 years. Congratulations. Nothing but hope for the future. The next 60 years of Tucson Young Life. Thousands upon thousands of young people hearing about Jesus Christ and having a chance to grow in their faith because a trusted friend came into their neighborhood and loved them in the name of Christ and told them about him. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Honored to be with you in all of this endeavor. Keep going.
Welcome to the 60th anniversary of Young Life in Tucson. My name is Rachel Plyler, and I am so grateful for the ways that God has shaped my life by being a part of this mission to introduce kids to Jesus and help them grow in their faith. From being a college student myself, hanging out in College Young Life, meeting some of my lifelong friends, to volunteer leading at Ironwood Ridge High School, and then getting the privilege of coming on staff to do wildlife ministry in Northwest Tucson. It's all been a joy and a gift to be a part of this mission in this city. Thank you for being a part of Tucson Young Life. I wish I could be with you all tonight, but my heart is with you all as you celebrate God's goodness in the lives of kids in Tucson.
Hey everybody, my name is Bruce Kindle, and welcome to the 60th anniversary weekend for Tucson Young Life. I was on staff in Tucson for 5 years, from 1985 to 1990, and showed up in Tucson as a clueless 23-year-old staff trainee or staff intern. And within about 1 month, maybe two, found myself as the clueless 23-year-old area director of all of Tucson. They were probably 5 of the best years of my life, along with my wife, Sherry. And we just had an incredible time with many of you serving Tucson. And And thank you, all of you, for joining us and being a part of the health of this ministry and the next great 60 years. Thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Hey everyone, Cody Bell here. I was involved as an area director in Central Tucson for several years, and I always loved my time and have many great memories. So happy birthday, Tucson Young Life. Here's to many more.
Hey friends, welcome to the 60th anniversary of Young Life in Tucson. My name is Jake Hawbaker, and I was involved in Young Life in Tucson from 2002 to 2021, and so grateful for the organization of Young Life and all the wonderful people involved in Tucson. I miss you all a ton. Thinking of you guys, wish I was there, and love you all. Bye.
Is this thing on? Well, hello there, Tucson Young Life. This is Jackie. I'm Patsy. And together, we're the Krolowski Sisters. And we're so glad to be back.
That's right. We've been retired and living in South Florida. Watch out for those crocodiles.
That sweet young Calderwort reached out to us and asked if we could put together a little video in honor of your 60 years of Tucson Young Life.
That's right. And you are in for a special little treat. We are going to take you down memory lane. That's right. We're going to sing some songs, some of our favorite tunes from when we were back in Young Life.
Back in those 80s and 90s where we started our career at some of our favorite nightclubs.
That's
like
right.
Bashful Bandits.
Dirt Bags.
That's right.
So grateful, so grateful.
Sit back and relax.
Hit it!
Hey, Patsy.
Hey, Jax.
You ready to have some fun?
Am I? Come home in the morning light.
My mother says,
when you're gonna live your life right.
oh, Mother dear, we're the fortunate ones.
And girls,
they wanna have fun.
oh, girls,
That's right. Hey, kids, you ready to rock it?
I'm ready to roll it.
Oh, we gotta hold on. Ready or not, we live for the fight, and that's all that you got. Whoa, we're halfway there. Woo-hoo, living on a prayer. Take my hand, and we'll make it our swear. Woo-hoo, living on a prayer. Patsy, you ready to have a good time?
I'm ready for the new wave.
Good time turns around.
You must whip it.
You will never live it down.
You must whip it.
No one gets away.
Until you whip it.
I say whip it.
Whip it good.
I say whip it.
Whip it good.
So, Patsy, is it time to wrap up this party?
Oh, so sad.
Your mom busted in and said, "What's that noise?"
Oh,
Oh, Mom is just jealous, 'cause it's the Beastie Boys.
more like Beastie Girls.
You gotta fight
Yes,
for
sir.
the right
Oh, no.
to party. You gotta fight
Yes,
for
sir.
the right
Oh, no.
to party. Oh, good times, Young Life. Thank you again for letting us join you, El Virtual.
That's
But
right.
I feel like we have one of our all-time favorites we'd like to end with.
Yes. Special.
Special song. Clang, clang, clang with the trolley. Ding, ding, ding with that bell. Song skids, trips, doing Young Life. Sharing Christ, making lifelong friends.
God bless you.
Love you all.
We love you. We love you.
Next
Oh.
century.
All right, we feeling loose or what? Well, start loosening up. All right, so at this point, everyone needs to look at their designated dasher for their table and send them over there to that wall. Everyone, send your dasher over to that wall. You got to be touching it. All right, as the dashers are getting in place, I would like to just say, if you're like, hey, I'm gluten-free or I can't have lactose, and what if we get a dessert we can't have? We have a special selection of gluten-free desserts at the end of the table. So don't worry, your dasher can get whatever they want, and then afterwards you can get your own gluten-free or lactose-free dessert. So dashers, I see a lot of dashers not touching any walls. Listen, I don't make the rules, I just think them up and then enforce them. So please, get to the wall. I need you to just touch something that resembles a wall. A pillar. The pillar works. I'll accept the pillar. Not that pillar. Doggone it. That is so cheap. Get over there. No, I do not accept that. Come on. Come on. Over there. There you go. Touch one of those pillars. That wall. There's so much wall over here. All right, here we go. Yeah, there's no handicap for age. Here we go. Are you, dashers, are you ready? Everyone who's hungry, are you ready? All right, here we go. When I call your table number, go get your dessert. 8, 6, 4, 20, 11, 17, 7, 2, 9, 12, 13, 3, 15, 16, 1, 5, 14, 19, 10, 18. All right, great job, dashers. All right, again, if you need a gluten-free or dairy-free dessert, we do have some down at the end of the table. We're going to give you just a couple minutes to go ahead and serve up your table, and then we will be right back up with something special for you. So go ahead and serve that up.
Can you hear me? Oh, yay. Hi, everyone. Hi. How are your desserts tasting? Good? Yeah? Well, my name's Amelia, and I am from... Hi, everyone. I am from the East Side Young Life. We just started this semester, and I had about 7 kids coming out to that area, and we actually popped up to about 50 about every week this year, so it's been super awesome. The parents have been super supportive. My students are just running out and making sure that they tell everyone about Young Life at their high school. But I gotta be honest with you, I've had some kids whisper to me that club's been a bit boring. So, I know. So I did some research and did a deep dive on Young Life. And I actually, I found a document that was called Young Life Games that are banned from Young Life. So I thought, that is the perfect solution. Let's just bring it all back. So I brought back the banned games. I looked through the list, and I actually came across one that I thought was really awesome. It's actually called Kidnap Club. So I thought that'd be a good one. I was a little hesitant about it, so I thought we should try it here first. So we're gonna do a kidnap fundraiser, yes? Does that sound good with everyone? Yeah, you all look very scared right now. All right, so I have this long list of activities, but for right now, I really thought, let's give it a go. So Summer and Grace, could you please bring out our kidnappee? That'd be perfect. Bring them on out. Give it a hand, give him a hand.
Vladimir Putin, give me back my family!
Look at him.
Where am I?
Yeah, oh, well, you're at Young Life, of course.
What in the world is Young Life?
Young Life, you know, Young Life, it's a nonprofit organization where we get to introduce adolescents to Jesus Christ, and we get to walk with them in their faith. You haven't heard of us yet?
I never, no.
We've been around for 60 years now, guys. You should have heard of us.
You kidnapped me to tell me about Jesus? I guess that makes sense.
It does. So, enough about us, though. Really, we want to hear more about you.
Okay, well, Ron Glansberg is my name. Nice to meet you. How are you? Thanks very much. And I'm an engineer down at Raytheon, and I was there sitting at my desk working on my guidance systems, and then all of a sudden, wham! Before I know it, I got a bag thrown over my head, and I got thrown into the trunk of a car. There I am, sweaty, listening to 2 women in the front seat playing Stephen Curtis Chapman on the radio, talking about how they're gonna sneak onto a high school campus at lunchtime.
Summer and Grace?
And then I get ripped out of that car trunk and thrown into a closet with what I can now only assume are boxes full of communion wine and wafers. And I get dragged up here at this stage, and the doggonest thing is going on. All I want to do is just scream Sweet Caroline at the top of my lungs and carry a mattress across town with 4 of my best friends. I don't know why.
Well, all I'm hearing is it sounds like you're ready for Young Life Club. Why don't we dive into the Young Life Games banned from Young Life list and just try a new game, yeah?
Did you say banned?
Of course I did. So we're going to play a new game, which is also old, but now new. So what you're going to do is you're going to shove marshmallows in your mouth.
What?
And you're going to say, Chubby Bunny.
I'm going to say, but hold on a second. What if I'm allergic to these marshmallows?
You're not allergic. So just keep saying Chubby Bunny. You want to say Chubby Bunny as many times as possible. It's fun. That's what Young Life's about. This is very fun. You just got to keep going. One more time.
Stop it. You said this was supposed to be a game? I mean, how is this supposed to be a game if I'm the only one up here? Don't we need more people up on stage to do this?
You know what, Ron? You're right.
Oh.
Young Life is about bringing everyone together. So maybe we should do one that's about participating, you know?
Yeah, well, okay, well, honestly, I see why this game is banned. I mean, I could have choked real fast. Do you have any other games on that list that might be more safe?
I actually do, yeah. I have the list right here. How Head first slip and slides.
Okay, not my neck.
Yes. Drinking a gallon of milk in an hour.
Okay, barf.
Yes, that's a good one. Throwing a live chicken into the crowd. I like that one. We
Okay,
should
there's
do
no
that.
way that's legal.
The shin kicking game.
Definitely not legal.
Or maybe let's go with the human slingshot.
Okay, violence is a theme here.
Yes. Saran wrap racing. That's a good one.
Okay, heat stroke waiting to happen.
Cross dressing.
No.
The human flamethrower.
How are you still alive after 60 years?
And but we, my personal favorite, shooting real guns at camp.
That's
Yeah.
actually on the list?
That was on the list of
Oh my
banned
goodness
games
gracious.
at Young Life.
Okay, you know what? At this point, I'm starting to think that this whole chubby buddy game is probably our best option, actually. Maybe we should just run with that. What do you say?
I think that's actually a great idea. So if we could just welcome up Monty Alberts, Bruce Kindle, Michelle McClellan, and Jennifer Esparza.
Esparza. Get on up to the stage, you four. Get on up here.
Get on up here. Come on up.
Come on up.
Don't be shy. This is Young Life.
Come on up, you four. Make your way. Come on. I know you're so excited. Come on this way.
Look at them.
Sit right
glowing.
here for me, please. I'll get this out of the way. Sit right there.
It's that Young
You,
Life
my friend,
glow.
come here. Sit right there. Sit right there. I understand. You sit right there. Perfect. All right.
Well, let's see who's who here.
All right. Let's see. What's your name and who invited you?
I invited myself. No, Paul DeWert invited me. My name is Jennifer Esparza.
Give it up for Jennifer.
Woo! What's your name and your area? What you do?
What I do. My name is Michelle McClellan, and we have Young Life at our house every week.
What's your name and why are you here?
You called up Monty, and he bailed on me, and so I'm subbing in for Monty, and Paul's my dad.
What is your name?
Oh, I'm Matt.
All right. Good to see you, Matt.
And what's your name? And I guess the question was, why are you here?
My name is Bruce Kindle, and I was named after my dad's Young Life leader.
That's sweet.
All right. Enough of that heartwarming crud. This is what we're going to get into. I was working on this list of trivia at my desk today, and this is what's going to happen. I'm going to go down the line one by one, and I'm going to ask an individual person a trivia question. If the trivia questions are about Young Life in Tucson, I have them. If you get the question correct, the other three have to put a marshmallow in their mouth. If you get it incorrect, then you had to put the marshmallow in your mouth. All right, do you understand? Pretty simple. All right, do you understand? Yeah, woo! They're an enthusiastic crowd tonight. All right, here we go. First question. Who was the first Young Life staff person in Tucson?
Steve Blacksmith.
That is incorrect. It is Charlie Bowles. Give her a marshmallow. I did not say when you were around. I put no contingency on the question. All right. In what year? Yeah, put it in your mouth. Not yet.
No.
Hold it there. Just let it marinate for a little
Pocket
bit.
it on the side.
All right. In what year was Young Life founded?
1941.
That's correct. Everyone else gets a marshmallow.
Paul's your dad. I'd hope you know that.
Everyone else gets a marshmallow. All right. What is the name of Young Life's property that it owns in northern Arizona?
Lost Canyon.
That is correct. Everyone else gets a marshmallow.
Stop eating them.
You can't eat them. All right. All right. Who was the U of A college director for Young Life before Ben Chambers?
Sam Partain.
That is correct. Everyone else gets a marshmallow. No helping from the peanut gallery. All right. 10 years ago, how old was Young Life in Tucson?
Oh, I like this question. 50.
That is correct. Everyone else gets a marshmallow. All right.
He said it's so lame.
All right. What's the name of our current Young Life Tucson Capernaum director?
Oh.
She's in the crowd. That's
wait.
your hint.
Is she in the crowd?
She kidnapped me.
You have 5 seconds.
Oh,
5,
it's not
4,
my aunt.
3, 2.
Grace Vandermark, he gets a marshmallow. All right. Before his job as the Metro Director at Young Life, what job did Paul DeWert have?
Principal of CDO High School.
That's correct. Everyone else gets a marshmallow.
What are you doing?
All right.
Stockpiling them in our hands.
If you don't put them in your hands, you get 4 more credited to you right now. You put them in your mouth. There you go. There you go. There you go. Keep going. No, if you can talk, you got room in there. All right. On what night of the week is High School Young Life Club typically?
Monday.
Monday night is correct. Everyone else gets a mallow.
I'm sorry.
All right, everyone else, you have one more question for everybody. Here we go. What? Do not look at my cheat sheet. What area? Oh, no, you would know that one. I'm asking you a different one. How many camp trips per year do Tucson Young Life or Wildlife Clubs typically take kids on? How many camp trips per year do Young Life Clubs normally go on? Just try it. Yeah, like if I'm at one Young Life Club and I'm a student, how many times are they going to try to get me to go to camp in a year? She says 2. That is correct. 1 winter and 1 summer. Everyone else gets them all. All right, here we go. What area in Tucson was Tanita Maddox the area director of?
Central.
That is incorrect. It is Northwest. He gets another marshmallow. I thought that was a softball, to be totally honest. He was so confident. All right. How many... The answer was on your table, so we'll see if you read the literature. How many active clubs are there currently in Tucson?
8.
9 is the correct answer. He gets another marshmallow.
I was just talking about my new one.
All right, the final question. What camp activity is now banned across all Young Life properties? What classic camp activity is now banned across all Young Life properties?
Shooting one they just talked about.
Incorrect. It is the blob, the blob. All right, she's got to get another marshmallow. What other camp activity? All right, no, just she gets a marshmallow. Okay. She already got it. All right, now it's time to count. Now it's time to count how many marshmallows. So you get to go ahead and spin your marshmallows into the trash can and count how many as they come out.
Can't they say Chubby Bunny?
Oh, yeah, hold on, sorry. Say Chubby Bunny.
Chubby Bunny.
All right, she definitely offloads those. Say Chubby Bunny.
Chubby Bunny.
That's excellent. Say Chubby Bunny.
Paul DeWert.
Very well
Chubby
done.
Bunny.
All right, go ahead, spin up. Give it up for our contestants. Thank you so much, Jennifer and Matt and Bruce and Michelle. You all are so wonderful to us. 8. 8 is a good count. Wow. Oh, man. Well, goodness gracious. Hey, you know what? If this is what this Young Life thing is all about, I'm kind of glad that I'm here. The kidnapping thing still freaks me out a little bit. Got to be honest. But I could see the draw.
You know, I was hoping for that. Now that you're fully hooked on Young Life, Ron, you know, I thought we could take a walk and talk about being a monthly donor.
You really waste no time, do you?
Not one bit.
Okay, well, I'm down. Let's talk over some dessert. Hey, can you unbind my hands? They're starting to hurt. All right, let's go. See. Ow, thank you, goodness. Tell me more about being a Young Life monthly donor. I want to know all about
You gotta ask, if it's banned, why are we still doing it here, right? Like, we could, don't tell on us, okay? So, yes. Yes. My name is Paul DeWert. I'm the Associate Regional Director for Young Life in Southern Arizona. And in 1983, a bunch of college kids showed up on my campus and befriended me and started inviting me to come play basketball and go have lunch. I had no idea what this Young Life thing was all about. They invited me to go to camp, and I experienced the Lord there in a way that I had never experienced Him before. I had no idea this ministry would impact just about every aspect of my life. And so it's such a pleasure to be with you tonight to tell you a little more about it. I want to thank my committee. First of all, I got to thank my wife. Where's Beth? So, you know, flower arrangement's not my thing, and table decorations and all that's not my thing. But I need to thank Beth. I want to thank the Poolies are part of my committee. Dave and Nancy, give them a... Joe and Tina Atkinson, wave your hands. Tim and Sharon Peterson are not here. Sharon's here. Tim's out of town. Sharon's here. Sharon, raise your hand. And then Becky and Larry Kapler are part of my committee right now. So thank you to you. But yeah, thank you to everybody that had a hand. We had lots of people here this afternoon, and I'll introduce you to them in just a little bit. But for the benefit of those of you who are not as familiar with Young Life, we have a little video we want to show you that's basically what is Young Life. So here we go.
Young Life could be called a faith-based mentoring program for adolescents. But that sounds boring. And Young Life isn't boring. In 1941, Jim Rayburn knew that God wanted everyone to experience life to the full, even high schoolers. So he started Young Life. Since then, Young Life has branched into middle schools, colleges, and beyond in over 100 countries, all across the globe. For over 80 years, staff and volunteer leaders have been going to kids, getting to know and care for them, and inviting them into the greatest adventure of all. So, how does Young Life do this? It all starts with Young Life leaders. They go where adolescents are, whether track meets, coffee shops, or skate parks. Leaders care for kids on their turf, in their communities. They want every kid to have a friend and know that they're worthy of being cared for, whether they're interested in a relationship with God or not. Relationships are a foundation of Young Life. Leaders invite kids to Young Life Club, a celebration of relationships. It's a safe place to connect with others, where kids can be kids, a chance to laugh, have fun, and hear a life-changing story about God from one of their leaders. Fun is a foundation of Young Life. And if kids have questions about God and want to dig deeper, Young Life has campaigners, a small group of leaders and kids learning how to follow Jesus together by reading the Bible and talking about what a relationship with God looks like in everyday life. Faith is a foundation of Young Life. A few times a year, Young Life leaders invite their kids to Young Life Camp, a place designed just for them. At camp, kids can experience adventure, community, and consider who Jesus is, all while having one of the best weeks of their lives. Adventure is a foundation of Young Life. And Young Life isn't just for kids. Committee is a group of committed parents and adults partnering with local Young Life staff and volunteers, investing in their community. Community is a foundation of Young Life. So, if you're a kid, Young Life is a safe place for you to be known and hear about the God who knows and loves you. If you're a parent, it's a place for your kids to be cared for and encouraged. If you care about kids, you can even be a leader and help change someone's life. So, what is Young Life? It could be called a faith-based mentoring program for adolescents. And a whole lot more.
So yeah, I was involved as a high school kid, and then when I came back from camp, I decided, I knew that God was calling me to be a volunteer leader. So I did that while I was in college. I did that for 5 years. Then I went off and I became an educator, and I taught biology at the high school level, and then my career took me into school administration, and you heard one of the trivia questions was my last post, I was the principal at CDO High School. In 2017, I had the opportunity to step away from that and retire, and I was like, okay, what is God calling me to next? And that thing that he called me to next was a position with Young Life. And so when I got involved in 2017, some of the first things that I did is I wanted to reach out to and get to know the people who had been involved with Young Life over the years. And one of the first people that I was told that I should reach out to was this guy named Charlie Bowles. So I got together with Charlie Bowles, told him what I was doing, and he has mentored me and continues to meet with me, continues to support me. And I had lunch with Charlie not too long ago, and he told me about kind of the early days, some 60 years ago when they did Young Life. Charlie had assembled a team of people around him, and Burton and Williams were part of that team. Ann is here tonight, and Becky and Larry Kapler, who are still very involved on the committee side and helping me with lots of different things, are also still, they were part of that team, so give them a round of applause. And then I understood that Dell and Pat Strunk, and they moved to Washington. Was it Dell that passed away? Okay. And so they were a part of that team. And Charlie told me some really cool stories about the early days. He would work for Herder Construction during the day, and then he went out and did contact work in the afternoon. He'd go to the schools and spend time with kids. And he told me this story that one day he was driving by O'Reilly Chevrolet, and he's like, the Holy Spirit's telling me I got to go inside there and talk to whoever's in charge. And so he does. He goes inside, and he's like, I need to meet the person in charge. He's like, and so he does. They get him in front of Buck O'Reilly. And he goes, Buck O'Reilly, here's the deal. I'm doing this thing, Young Life. I need a van, right? And I don't know exactly how long it took, but eventually, somehow, because you were obedient to that, you walked in and asked for a van, you ended up with a van, right? Come on. So they got a van. Then he told me a story, like, there was a family, they had so many kids. They started at Rincon doing Young Life, and then they had kids coming from Palo Verde, Catalina High School, Saguaro High School. They had so many kids at one point coming to club, they needed a bigger space. So that's when you went to, I'm going to forget the name. What was the name of the family? Okay, so it's Pinecrest Shopping Center. It's still there today on Speedway and Swan. And they were given a storefront, and that's where they had club. So then they get the van, and they had another family that had a cabin on Mount Lemmon. And so Friday nights, they'd go to football games, and they would pick kids that were going to go, and they'd prepare. So they'd go to the game, they'd do their contact work, they'd get to know kids, and they'd drive them up to Mount Lemmon and spend the weekend with them. That's what the early days of Young Life looked like. I got this idea. I'm not an artsy craftsy guy, and I think there were other people that had ideas, but I made you guys a gift, and I want to show you what it is. So I put together this little picture thing. It has the original Young Life logo, and then, I don't know when, but sometime, we call this the martini glass Young Life logo. And it says, thank you. And it says, it's 1 Thessalonians 2:8, because we loved you so much, we were delighted to share with you not only the gospel, but our lives as well. And this is a verse that we ask most of our leaders to memorize. And then I took it to club, and I had current kids attending club sign this to say thank you to you guys. So I'm going to give one to the Kaplers, to the Williams, and to you, Charlie. So your legacy has been literally thousands of kids have been introduced to Jesus because you started this thing so many times ago. Now, as it usually happens in Young Life, if you're good at your job, what happens? You get promoted, or you get asked to do something else. In 1975, Charlie got asked to go to Chicago, is that correct? So Charlie was called, and he went to Chicago and started Young Life in Chicago. Charlie, you're up. Okay. Well, I'm sure you did a great job there as well. Okay. So, a brief history of the last 60 years. After Charlie, there was an area director named Connie Bilbrey. And I tried to reach out to Connie, but I was unsuccessful. But he is still around, but I did not have a chance to talk to him. When I got involved as a kid in 1983, the area director was a guy named Andy Smith. And Andy was a dear friend, and he was on staff for a while. And then he was called to go do other things as well. And then, 1985, my buddy Bruce Kendall came to town. Where's Bruce? I got to lead with Bruce at Saguaro High School, and we had so much fun. And Bruce one day came to me and said, hey, I got to do program at Prescott Pines, right? And so Bruce and I did program, and it was the best program team ever. At least that's what we tell people, right, Bruce? Bruce's dad, Jerry Kendall, was a huge part of the story of Young Life in Tucson. And so I wanted to recognize him. Jerry passed away in December of 2017. That's right when I came on, and our golf tournament was coming up. And so our staff, it was actually Cody Bell's idea. He's like, I think we need to rebrand our golf tournament as the Jerry Kendall Memorial Golf Tournament. And so we've done that ever since, and it's on April 11th, in case you're interested. And then Bill Hamilton came and joined Bruce in 1988. And I think, Bruce, in 1990, you got called and you went to Tempe. You moved back to the Phoenix area. And Bill stayed here until 1999. And then another good friend came to town, a guy named Steve Blacksmith, moved to town with his family. I can't tell you the whole story about our friendship with the Blacksmith family. But to this day, we are dear friends, and our families have a group chat together. That's the depth of our friendship, and we still vacation and visit them a ton. And Steve will be up a little bit later. During that time, Sam Partain came on. Most of you know Sam. He said he might show up at the tailgate party if you want to see Sam, so you might want to go to that. And then Tanita came in 2004, right? And then 8 years after being in town, you decided to leave and crushed my heart. And my family's, but you had 8 great years here, and we love being with you. Tanita moved to Scottsdale at some point in there, and now you're in the Seattle area, and you can talk about that if you want to. But Sam, so Tanita was here with Sam, and they were running the show for a while together, right? And then Tanita moved on, and then Sam was here, and then Sam and I kind of ran things together for 2 years before he began to pursue some other endeavors. And then now I'm left here. It's me. So it's me. It's a me show. But during that time, these are some of the people that I've had the chance to work with. You saw them in the video, but Jake Hawbaker, Casey Borden, Cody Bell, Janetta Holtz, Janet Payne, Andrea Schlecht is here tonight. Was our Young Lives director. Katie Vidal, Holly Roden, Marcy Siri. I saw you come in. Marcy was our Young Lives director for a bit. Rachel Plyler was in the video. Dominique Langston. These were just dear friends of mine. That's not an exhaustive list. There were lots of people during those times when I was there, but wonderful people. And how many of you knew Teresa Smith? Teresa was our administrator, wonderful lady. She was going to be here tonight, but is in Colorado with her family. And so here we are today, and I want to introduce you to our current staff. Okay? So I'm going to begin with Nubia Reyes. Nubia, go ahead and stand up so they can see you. Nubia took over for, yeah, come on, she's kind of popular. She took over for Jake Hawbaker, and she leads the Northwest Tucson part of our town. And she's got active clubs going on at Amphi Flowing Wells. We have a team of folks at CDO High School. We're getting things started at Mountain View, and we're having conversations about Catalina Foothills again. So that's what Nubia's up to. And I wanted to introduce some of the people on her team who are here tonight. So Jason, is Jason in the room? And Summer, Jason, stay standing. Summer Kincannon. and Maria. So these three young people are on our NGL, our Next Generation Leaders team. They're on student staff. And Maria's our wildlife leader, team lead. Summer is our team lead at CDO. Jason's shares the team leader job right now at Flowing Wells. So that's part of our team. And then I need Lauren to stand up. Where's Lauren? So Lauren also came through the NGL program, but she has been hired to go on international Young Life staff in Guam. She's going to spend the next little while getting ready for that, but that's our Northwest Tucson team. Thank you, guys. Give them a round of applause. Now, Joe Beck, you saw Joe. Joe was on stage. Joe, are you out there? So Joe leads our East Tucson and Vail team and doing an outstanding job. I wanted, Tabor's here. Tabor, are you? Stand up. And Amelia is here. Okay, so Tabor is one of the team leads at the Vail Club, and Amelia just started what we're calling our East Side Club, which is serving the Tanque Verde School District and surrounding schools as well, right? And so doing a phenomenal job. Their clubs are busting at the seams, and they're just doing a great job. So, okay, stand up. All right. All right. So that's our East Side team. Thank you, guys. Ben Chambers wasn't going to be here tonight, but look who showed up, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Chambers is our Young Life College Director at the University of Arizona. He had a college summit the last several days and hurried back, and we weren't expecting him to see him, but he showed up. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ben Chambers. Grace Vandemark is back there somewhere. Grace Vandemark was a longtime Capernaum volunteer leader and then a teacher for a little bit, and then we had the good fortune of bringing her on staff. She just started this summer, but she is our Capernaum director and doing a phenomenal job. Grace, you got anybody you want to stand up? You want to see your team stand up? Okay, there's some of her team. And there's her husband, Ryan. And you heard me mention Young Lives. Andrea had been on staff. Marcy had been on staff. And most recently, Marcy has left staff to pursue some other things. We do have a group of leaders that are still kind of meeting. They did campaigners not long ago, and I am actively working on hiring a new director to lead Young Lives. So you all can join me in praying for that. That's a very important. Young Lives is our teen mom outreach ministry. It's a very important part of what we do. So you can join me in kind of praying for that. Okay, I have another video I want you to see. No, yes, I want to show the video, and then I'm going to bring a kid up. I want you to meet a friend of mine named Max. But let's show that video first. Thank you.
Our world is full of chaos and commotion. We are distracted and disrupted. And those most vulnerable and affected are young people. They're connected, yet alone. For far too many, when you ask who knows them best, they answer,
no one.
Young Life leaders are about making kids known. We begin knowing kids by name. We invite them to know their true purpose. For over 80 years, we've done this wherever young people hang out or spend their time. We show up, we listen, we walk with young people, and we share Jesus. We see 1 billion young people in our world, and far too many feel unknown today. We are still compelled to play our part, to know Jesus, know kids, and together make the name of Jesus known around the world. Our vision remains, and between now and 2030, we're bringing focus into 4 areas. We believe God is calling us to model relational ministry by knowing young people, from middle school to college, and inviting them to be disciples of Jesus. God is urging us to develop kingdom leaders who are courageous members of the gospel and to create leadership pipelines for the next diverse generation. God is calling us to play our part to inspire a volunteer movement and to use simple tools to pray for, equip, and to send out disciples who make more disciples. And God compels us to go together with each other and adults in local communities as we live out our mission of announcing the gospel. Young people think no one knows them, but Jesus knows their story, and we're bringing caring adults to be the hands and feet of Jesus. To tell young people, you are known. You have a kingdom purpose. We share this with one kid at a time and watch God change his world together.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, on your tables, you're going to find what we refer to as a one-pager. If you'd find that real quick. I love the video that you just got a chance to see. A big part of what we're about is knowing kids. And you're going to get to meet one of those kids in just a minute. But I wanted to draw your attention to this document. And you can take this with you. Our mission statement is at the top left, and the mission of Young Life is very straightforward and very direct. We want to introduce kids to Jesus, and once they step into a relationship with Jesus, we walk with them and we help them grow in their faith. And I have been around a lot of different ministries, and the reason why that I'm passionate about this one is because I've seen it work in my life, and I've watched it work in so many other kids as they've stepped into a relationship with Jesus. It's effective, it works, it's a relational ministry, and if a kid responds to the gospel through this mission, great, we walk with them, we celebrate that. If they don't, guess what? We still walk with them, and we love them, and we continue to walk with them. So you'll see Young Life started out, which we talked about earlier, in Texas in 1941, Jim Rayburn. It quickly grew, and now it is an international ministry. And you can see globally in the top left of this one pager, the number of kids that we know by name, the number of countries that we're in is 108. Talks about camp and total volunteers. To the right of that, you can get some numbers from Southern Arizona. It's kind of hard to pin down the exact number sometimes, but you can see our current numbers and kids known by name, and the kids that go to club. Last summer, I know that I paid for 4 buses full of kids to go to Los Canyon. So that's over 200 kids and leaders went to camp last summer. I can tell you that we had a conversation at our last staff meeting. We're planning for our next all-city Christmas club. And typically we would do that at a venue that can host somewhere between 150 and 200 kids. It's not nearly big enough now. We're going to have to find a bigger space to bring all of our kids together. This is a good problem to have. And then our leadership numbers, we're constantly recruiting, training, and finding people that want to love kids and walk with them and share Jesus with them. So you can see our current numbers, and you can see the goals that we have for the future moving forward. The video talked about the priorities, and you can see what the Arizona-New Mexico region, how we've kind of delineated what our priorities are in the 4 parts of the known campaign. And you can read those at your leisure. What I want to draw your attention to now is at the very bottom, it talks about next steps. And this is kind of where we're going. You heard me introduce the staff and kind of which clubs we're in and what we're doing. And some of our big goals for the future, we want to hire another staff associate, another person to work alongside Ben at the U of A so that we can expand our reach of what we're doing there. We'd like to, at some point, be in a position where we can hire a new staff associate for East Tucson and Vail. We'd also don't currently have a person on staff in Central Tucson, and so we've got some ideas of how we're going to work on that. It could be a student staff, but we eventually want to have a staff person that is either assigned to a school or actually assigned to the area. And it might be the kind of thing that needs to happen over time, but that's what we're working on in that regard. And then I already told you I'm working on hiring a new director for Young Lives. And then there's student staff positions. I introduced the student staff to you. We want to add to that. We have found that bringing them into the NGL program or to bring them on as mission staff while they're in college or younger and finding a way to pay them a little bit has been a valuable way to give them an opportunity to see if staff is a place for them. And so that's what we're working on. Now, if you added that up, that's a huge number. What I did for you is I did a little math, and what I looked at is what are our immediate needs right now. And so I thought about what I know about the staff budgets, what I know about what we're trying to do with student staff, and some of these other things that we're working on. And I wrote it on this piece of paper. And it's I think a reasonable number. It's $57,600. That's our immediate need. And that is what I'm going to ask you a little bit later to consider helping us work at. Okay? So that's enough said about that. But that's the number that I'm currently really working on to try to address some of the immediate needs that we have. $57,600. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a friend I want you to meet. He is a little bit nervous, and it's going to be okay. Max Gonzalez, are you out there? Where's Max? Come here, Max. Test, test. Oh, there we go, Max. That's yours.
That's mine.
You hang on to that one. I gotta find all my questions, Max. Hang on a second. So Max and I didn't realize this, but Max and I had actually gone to camp together. I was there in an official capacity. I think I might have been a head leader, but you were up there at the same time. But before we talk about that too much, Max, just introduce yourself. Tell them a little bit about who you are. Tell them what you're doing about school. What are your hobbies? Just give them a little flavor of who Max Gonzalez is.
All right. Hello, I'm Max Gonzalez. I currently do online school, but I support Flowing Wells High School. And my hobbies, I play a lot of basketball, I skate, and then I come enjoy Young Life.
So Max is a big-time skater, and I said, hey, Max, would you take me skating someday? And Max thought, he's like, oh, yeah, that'd be great. And I was like, come on, you're just being nice because you know I can't skate, right? So anyway, but we had lunch, we had a great time talking and so on. So tell me, so you were at, you're doing online school, but you're a Flowing Wells kid and you were at Flowing Wells. How did you first get introduced to Young Life? What did that look like?
So how I first got introduced was I was at lunch just hanging with my friends, and then Lauren came to my table and asked if we wanted EGs. So I said yeah. And then I got some EGs, and then she talked about Young Life. I wasn't really interested because like I'm pretty lazy. And then I heard she said there's a game room, and then I just got excited. So I said yeah. I got her contact info, and then from then on I went on to the clubs, and then eventually camp.
All right, so you got this EGs, and you got to know Lauren, and who were your other leaders, the guy leaders that you were hanging out with?
My guy leaders were James, Joe, and just them.
Okay, now you and I have had a chance to talk, and I know you a little bit, and I want you to share with the audience kind of what life was like as a kid, and then before you ever interacted with Young Life, kind of where were you at in life, and where were you at with your relationship with the Lord?
So growing up, I wasn't religious. I didn't believe in a God, and I didn't really go to church, and I didn't really support it. But then I started making bad decisions. I started drinking, started smoking, and then from then on, I knew like I didn't really have a point in life, and so I didn't really go anywhere, do anything. But then I found Young Life.
Okay, so you're in 8th grade, 9th grade at high school. You got this group of buddies, and the way what you just described is going nowhere good, right? Tough stuff, and so then you get introduced to Young Life, and you start hearing about this guy Jesus, okay? And then I know that your Young Life leaders invited you to go to camp, okay? And when you went to camp, you got this funny nickname. Can you tell them about your nickname?
Oh, yeah. So the week prior to me going to camp, I broke my leg, and my friend there, Sam, he gave me a nickname, and I was Tripod for the rest of the time.
So what's cool about this is Sam was one of my wildlife kids, and then he was my high school kid when I was a leader. And I kind of had forgotten that Sam and you kind of hit it off at camp, right? And so Sam starts calling you Tripod, and now we call you Tripod. So from now on, you've been Tripod. So you go to camp, there's a camp speaker, and you had a great time at camp, right? Describe to me kind of what's going on in your heart, what's going on in your head as you're listening to the speaker, as you're spending time processing that stuff in cabin time. What do you feel happening to you in that time that you were at camp?
So while I was at camp, I had like really big doubts of being there because I felt like I wasn't like wanted there. But literally right off the bat, everyone was so welcoming. It was like the best community I've ever been in. And just listening to the speakers, it really changed my life because I wasn't the only person going through troubles and like there was roadblocks in life. So it really like helped me, and I felt like the Lord like calling me, telling me to get back on the path that He made for me.
So one of the things they do sometimes at the end of camp is they have a little thing that they do. Talk about that real quick and that little interaction that you had with Sam.
So at the end of camp, there was a say-so. If you don't know what that is, it's where you just stand up and give your life back to Christ. And I wasn't really thinking on doing it because I didn't know, like, it's a really big jump for me. But then my friend Sam, he nudged me, and he's like, you should do it. And I was thinking about it, and, like, just that week or the weekend, I really thought I should because, like, I never thought I would be anywhere in life and be like this far into Young Life because this is my 3rd year now. And so I gave my life to Christ that weekend. And then when I got back home, I got back into the Bible. I started talking to my dad again. And then he brought me to where I am today.
All right, and so you've stayed involved with Young Life. What would you say has been maybe the thing you like the best about being involved with Young Life?
The thing I like the best is like getting to know the leaders, because knowing that other leaders like were also like in a dark path at one point, it really showed me like how the Lord helped them and how they are helping me with my problems that I was going through.
And what are some of the things we now that you have made this commitment to follow Jesus, how would you say your leaders are helping you grow in your faith?
They're helping me especially in Bible studies because we get to talk about a book in the Bible, ask questions about it, and then just get to know more about Jesus and how He has helped me in my life.
All right. Max, Tripod, thank you for doing this. Anything else you want to say? Did we cover everything? I think you did a great job. But guys, give it up for Tripod. Well, Tripod is an example of the goodness that can happen when a caring adult steps into the life of a kid, invites them or gives them EGs at lunch, and then invites them to club, and then gives them a chance to hear about Jesus. And we forgot to ask him, but Tripod, Max, is a junior leader at Flowing Wells, and Should have asked you why you were up here, but one of your goals is you want to be a Young Life leader. You want to keep going. You want to keep growing in your faith, and you want to share with other kids the same opportunity to meet Jesus that you've had. So again, thank you for coming up, and thank you for being brave enough to come up here and do that. All right, I might have had Tanita's chronology a little wrong, but let me tell you about our guest speaker, and we're going to bring her up here. Dr. Tanita Tuwala Maddox is the National Director for Generational Impact for Young Life and serves as an Associate Regional Director in the Mountain West Young Life region. She has an expertise in contextualizing the gospel for Gen Z. Tanita's been featured on the Holy Post podcast and has been published in the Great Commission Research Journal, the Journal of Youth and Theology, and more. She has served as a Young Life leader with adolescents for over 26 years and serves as a volunteer Young Life leader in her local community. We've already talked about it, served on staff here in Tucson for many years. She currently lives in Spokane, Washington with her husband, Ashley, and her 2 children. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring up Dr. Tanita Tuwala Maddox. And when Tanita is done speaking, I'm not going to come back up and introduce him, but Steve Blacksmith is going to come up and talk to you as well. So, Dr. Maddox, it's all yours.
Oh, it's so fun to get to be with y'all. I don't know, do I get to use both of these?
Probably just one.
Okay, sure. No, I'm going to use both probably because I like to talk with my hands a lot. If you really knew me, you would know that I have an irrational fear of large bodies of water, which really has nothing to do with my ability to swim. And I'll say this, as a native Arizonan, it really didn't impact most of my life, right? Until I would take my high school friends to a Young Life camp in British Columbia that's on a peninsula and is only accessible by boat or seaplane and is surrounded by water on all those sides. So there's the camp. And we would take kids from time to time from Cali Foothills High School up to Malibu Club in Canada. And one of the attractions at camp is the Caribe, or the banana boat. So this kind of long hot dog balloon that you line up on and you get to ride. And it always kind of ends in a thrill that looks kind of like this. So as we're lining up to get onto the Caribe, I tell my Young Life friends this. I say, because I love you and because I'm your leader, I will get on this and I will ride it and I will fall off once. And then I will be in the boat for the rest of the time. And my friend Carrie, who's a senior at Cali Foothills, she looks at me and she goes, I got you, Tanita. You know, so Carrie, I'd known for a couple of years. Carrie and I had done a lot of life together. She'd run errands with me. I'd supported her stuff at school. She'd had meals at my house. And because Carrie knew me, she knew, without me ever saying it, that I was scared. So she made sure that she was right behind me on that and wrapped her arms around me and we're riding the Caribe. So it starts to take off. And within about, I'm sure, was 30 seconds, we go flying into the air. And however I landed, when I resurfaced, I could see no landmarks. I could not see the camp. I could not see the boat. I could not see anyone. All I saw was open water in front of me. And I can feel the panic start, right? And I feel like the tears are starting to come and my throat is starting to close and I was opening my mouth to cry for help, but nothing is coming out. And moments from what I'm sure was going to be a full-scale panic attack in the middle of the ocean, all of a sudden I hear, and I turn around, and Carrie is swimming to me as fast as she can, and she's yelling, look at me, look at me, and she swam over, and she grabbed onto my life vest and talked to me face to face until the boat came around, and then I just crawled on that boat, and I stayed there the rest of the time. But the funny thing about this is I never asked Carrie for help. I couldn't. Carrie only came to me because she knew me. And if you were another leader sitting on the dock watching it all happen, you might have seen me and been like, that's a really bad Young Life leader. Look at that lady. She just got in the water. She left all the other kids to fend for themselves, by the way, went first into the boat and then left them all there. Because sometimes when we don't know someone, when we don't understand what's going on, we make judgments of what we think is happening. And when we do that, we leave people alone, floating by themselves in open water, unable to ask for the help that they so desperately want. And we have kids today who are lost, who are floating in hopelessness, faced away from anyone who can help them. And they need us to call their name. If we wait for young people to turn around and ask for help, we will wait for a very, very long time. They need us to know them so that we can go to them when they can't even call to us. A few years ago, Barna did a study on Gen Z and found that 73%, almost 3/4 of Gen Zers, want to talk to adults who are older than them about the really big and important decisions in their life. And when I talk to adults, so many say, it doesn't feel like that. And he said, okay, but look at that second stat. 71% agree older generations don't fully understand the pressures that they're under. So in other words, we have kids who are struggling with, I so badly want to talk to you, but I'm afraid that you won't understand. And that wrestling of, what if I talk to you and I feel worse? What if I talk to you and I'm lonelier than when I started the conversation? And what they have is this deep desire to be connected and are so, so scared. Because honestly, there's a lot of things we don't understand about what it's like to be a teenager today. When I was 15, or when I was your age, I was 16 once. That doesn't cut anymore because the world has so much changed for young people. So what has changed? Well, the best reference I have is I get to look at when I was in high school and try to compare it to what was today. So I was in high school in the 90s, class of 97. Anyone else in the 90s? Oh gosh, the one Gen Xer in the room. Is that like yeah. The 90s, the 80s. You can think about when you were in high school, and we'll talk about some of these experiences that have changed for kids today. So I grew up with a family landline. Anyone else? Family landline? There was one phone, that was the phone in the house. And everyone's house had rules about when you could call or not call. Not that they were published, you just figured it out when you called the wrong time and you got yelled at by mom or dad on the other side of the house, right? So there's one phone. You weren't allowed to tie up the line also, right? Because no one else could get through. So we often would just have to leave the house to talk to people. And that was there. Now I think about when I was in high school and I was an athlete, which means when I got home, that window of time of getting home to when the phone was allowed to ring, before it had to be not ringing at all, was about an hour and a half, which means at high school, I was reachable about an hour and a half a day, maybe. Versus today, our young people are reachable 24 hours a day on multiple platforms. They wake up and their phone is already full of notifications of everyone and everything that was trying to get a hold of them, even while they were asleep. All right, when I was a teenager in the 90s, conflict happened, and it happened basically in person or on the phone. Those were the only options. Those were the people we were having conflict with. Maybe you wrote a note, but then that note got passed around the whole school, so you learned not to do that. There was just that. Versus today, so many of us don't understand the conflicts our young people are dealing with because we're not watching a fight happen before our eyes because they're happening on screens. So there's conflicts happening in text. In Finsta, which would be a fake Instagram account that kids can set up and then watch other kids or comment to other kids or bully kids. So they do that on the screen. They can do it with this unfollowing and blocking. I was talking to a young woman who I was talking about a friend of hers, and she said, we're not friends anymore. I said, what happened? She goes, she unfollowed me. And I didn't understand what she said. So I said, okay, well, so what happened? What did you guys talk about? And she goes, she unfollowed me. And as I kept pushing in, she slowed down her words, looked at me and said, she unfollowed me. And what I didn't realize and was starting to get that was how the communication was happening. That said everything she needed to know, including her friend saying, you are not worth having a conversation with. So that was happening, and following and blocking, and then ghosting, right? Just not responding. There was no version of that when I was in high school. You know, that'd be like this. You know, that was it. That we had nothing there. You were there. Everyone was just in physical spaces. So here you go. You know, on Monday, you got updated on what happened over the weekend. Maybe you were there, maybe you weren't. You just kind of found out when all the stories were circulating on Monday back at school. Today, our young people can see everything that they're not invited to in real time. They can be alone in their bedroom, watch all the things they weren't invited to, the parties they were invited to, the friends hanging out without them, the boy or girl they like out with someone else, and they can watch it while they're sitting by themselves. My embarrassing moments, they're just stories. They're legends, really, but mostly forgotten at this point, probably. You know, there was nothing to record with. We did the big camcorder, you know, like no one had that they were just hanging out with all the time, right? Versus right now, every moment can be recorded and shared instantly with or without your knowledge. We know our kids, they know they're being recorded all the time, and it puts them in a very high pressure situation where any mistake they make, any embarrassing moment, anything that they do can instantly be captured and shared forever, and they're highly, highly aware of that. And in addition to these things, which we're not even going to touch on tonight, there's 3 major experiences that young people are navigating today that did not exist when I was in high school. Social media, school shootings, and a global pandemic that just landed in the middle of everything. We don't understand what's going on. We don't understand what it's like to be a teenager today. Cigna Healthcare identified Gen Z as the loneliest generation in the United States. What's interesting is they did this study a few years ago, then followed up 5 years later with Gen Z again to see, is this something that they'll grow out of? And the answer was no. They continued to have low vitality and high rates of loneliness. And by 2023, about half of our 8th, 10th, and 12th graders agree with these statements. I can't do anything right. My life is not useful, and I do not enjoy life. They are screaming for us to help them. They may not use the words that we are used to listening to. They may not be communicating in ways that we're used to being communicated with. But they are screaming for help, for older generations to pay attention and be in a relationship with them. One thing they've got to do is ask young people to finish this sentence by writing a letter. Dear adults, I wish you understood or cared about ... And I've collected about 100 letters from the Western and Midwestern United States. And my sweet husband, Ashley, collected or put those together, some of them together into a video. So I'm going to share that little video with you. These are the real excerpts taken from their letters. Here's what I want you to pay attention for. Pay attention for the request to be in relationship with us. Pay attention to the desire of young people to be in relationship with adults.
Dear adults, I wish you understood about the amount of pressure our generation has gone through.
I wish you understood our desire to be loved and the lack of love we're actually given.
I wish you cared I was tired. I wish you cared I was sad.
Our anxiety is so high, but they tell us to push through or suck it up.
I wish you knew our desire to be told we are enough to be loved.
Just because we are teens doesn't mean you have to put all this pressure on us. Am I an adult or a kid? Pick one. We are expected to work, play, do a sport, do schoolwork, join clubs, and if we mess up, we get shamed. We know and understand more than you think. We promise we aren't lazy.
Kids are really screwed up these days. Our lives are different, but your wisdom is wanted.
But sometimes we're afraid to talk to you.
Believe me, it hurts when I push you away, but I want to feel safe with you.
I wish I could tell you everything that happens to me, everything I do and everything I want to do, but I'm afraid you won't care.
We are so scared of rejection, failing, or judgment. that we are so busy thinking about our own actions more than most things.
Despite that, we aren't heartless and self-absorbed. We are scared and yearning for love and acceptance. Stop writing us off and help us. Kids are going through hell right now, and so many adults refuse to listen.
When you are proud of us, let us know. It impacts us more than you know.
Dear adults, we are listening and watching.
In an epidemic of loneliness, we can be present. How many of you have heard these words screamed at you, or you've screamed these words? You're not listening to me. Has anyone had those words screamed at you? What's behind those words is actually this really beautiful request, because when we're yelling, you're not listening to me, we're really screaming, I so badly want to be connected with you. And I'm frustrated and I feel helpless and angry because somehow that's not happening right now. And sometimes listening doesn't really mean listening. You know, I've done that. I'm listening to you. This is what you said. I repeat the exact words. See, I listened. And what I realize is I'm missing the actual request. They may be saying, why aren't you feeling with me? Feel with me. Sometimes it's, why won't you agree with me? Sometimes it's like, I just need you to experience what I'm experiencing and be next to me in it. But all those things get mixed up in our communication. And when we say listening, we're meaning these different things. And right now, our world does not know how to listen to kids. We do not know what to do with kids today. And so we leave Gen Z and coming up with Gen Alpha to their own devices, pun intended, and we see where that leads. Our generation needs us to be with them. Let's boldly be generous with hope. Let's boldly be generous with presence. Because our kids are asking incredible questions about life and how they're figuring out how to navigate that as they move from childhood to adulthood through the process of adolescence. And what they do not understand or realize, because we haven't stepped in there really to tell them, is that the gospel actually responds to all the questions they're asking. The gospel responds to all the longings of their hearts. And this is what Young Life does. We sit and we listen, we understand, we are in the world of kids. We cry with them, we celebrate them. We're quiet a lot as we let kids pour out their life, so we know what they're asking. We know what they're longing for, and then we can say, let me share with you how Jesus answers that question. We not only share the hope of Jesus Christ, but our hope for the generation and how they can and will and do reflect the kingdom of God here on earth. Because they are in our world right now, a world that is doing its best to steal, kill, and destroy them. Sometimes it starts as easy as asking this question. Hey, what do you hear about your generation from older adults or the media? I ask this question all the time to our Gen Zers, and you can probably guess the words that you would hear back, because they're words we all hear. They start listing things like, lazy, fragile, snowflake, entitled, over-emotional, self-centered. And as I've asked our young people these questions over and over again in multiple places, they have yet to say one positive thing they've heard about themselves. I think we can do better than that. If it's our job to raise and steward the next generation, we cannot be surprised that the words we speak over them, they will live into. So we have to be responsible with the words we're speaking over them, to speak words of vision and words of hope. Be the ones who say, we see this in you, and speak those words. They will live into the words we speak over them. And when we hear them say those words to us, it's actually a beautiful opportunity to say, let me take those words out and put new words in. Let me tell you where you reflect the image of God that has not been recognized. And so here's a few places I see that Gen Z recognizes the image of God. One is they're highly aware of sin. They may not call it that. They probably won't call it that. But we have a generation that's really invested in justice, that's looking around the world and saying, something's wrong. Something needs to be set right. I don't think it's supposed to be like this. And that's what they're really screaming. What they're really aware of is sin, but they don't have the word for that. But they know that something's wrong that needs to be set right. They're truth seekers. They've grown up in a time with altered images and curated feeds and endless information from social media and meeting streaming services. And so they're looking for who is going to tell me the truth. And they will go out and try to find it because they're assuming most people are lying. They care for creation, and they're calling us to that very first thing that God asked us to do. Please care for my creation. And they're calling us back to that. They believe that all people deserve dignity and care and love. And so we get to provide them with do you know why? Because people were created in the image of God. God's the one that decided that people were worthy of dignity and of the love of God. And they are positioned to change the world unlike any generation previously. This is a global generation. It's the first global generation. It's the first time a term for a generation like Gen Z is being used in all parts of the world. And the same characteristics that we see in the United States is what they're seeing in all parts of the world. They can make a movement happen with the snap of their fingers or a push of their button. And we get the opportunity to listen to kids and to respond with the good news of Jesus Christ and pray that they take that around the world also. A few years ago, some leaders and we decided that, because leaders do crazy things to get kids to camp, we decided we were going to do a Tough Mudder, one of these like adventure races, to raise money to send kids to camp. And one of the obstacles was this quarter pipe situation here. Now, the obstacles are really built to not be able to be accomplished by one person. They're meant to be team building exercises. But once you get to this obstacle, it gets more and more covered with mud, and it becomes slippery and more slippery. And so it takes a lot of energy to get up. If you don't run up far enough to be able to have someone catch you, you just slide right back down, and you got to go again. And y'all, I have enough pride and competitive nature that I was like, I am not sliding down this thing. So I gear up, I run as hard as I can, I jump, and my friend AJ catches just the edge of my hand over here. Now, the law of physics, I guess, he has me holding like this. I cannot get my other hand high enough because all of my weight is coming through one place. I cannot get my hand to another teammate. I can't get my leg off. And so AJ is just holding me there, and I'm just dangling from him, all right? I have run and gotten there as high as I can go, and I've run as far as I can. I've used all my strength. I just got as far as I could go by myself. Now I needed someone else to help me. And this was painful. I'm going to close up on AJ's face. This is AJ's face, grimacing. What AJ has to do at this point is essentially bicep curl my entire body high enough so I can reach up to someone else with another hand and another leg and get over. And that's exactly what he did. But it cost him. There's pain. He was uncomfortable in all of it. And when I think of working with our next generation, when we say, all right, I want to be present, I want to be in their lives, I want to share Christ with them, I want to help them find a way to get to understand who God is and what that means for them, it's painful, because they're getting as far as they can go by themselves. It'll just slide them right back down. What they need is for us to catch them and then bicep curl them high enough so that someone else also can grab an arm and grab a leg, and then we can all help them get over. We get to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's what we do. We are the ones that have to be resilient. We're the ones that have to put up with the rejection and the slammed doors and the unresponded texts and being ditched for coffee dates or blown off at the high school, or the 90 invitations to camp that get turned down, or the 17 times we've shared Christ with someone that they said no. We're the ones that have to be uncomfortable. We're the ones that have to be resilient, because we have the power to actually bicep curl them up. They cannot get there by themselves. When the next generation is known by caring adults, we can swim to them. We can call them by name, because we, Young Life, we refuse to leave our next generation alone, floating in a sea of hopelessness, not when we are boldly generous with the hope of Jesus Christ. Thank you for being here, for fighting for so many people in this room who someone reached out, called their name, and they said, "Come with me." Thank you for not stopping before you got to some of the kids that are in this room, or the kids that I got to know at Cali Foothills High School. Please keep showing up. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable, and get those push-ups going, because we got a lot of lifting to do. I'm going to bring up my friend Steve over here to close us out.
I knew her before she was a doctor. Now she gets called out on airplanes and she has to decide, do I go up? Can I help them? I'm not sure I'm the doctor they're looking for. But tonight, Tanita, you are the doctor we needed, for sure. We're super grateful for your expertise, your encouragement. Hey, I've spent 35 years on Young Life staff, and so I'm probably the person in closing this time out that is maybe uniquely qualified to speak on behalf of an organization to say, would you consider partnering with this organization with your resources? Or would you consider even going deeper than you have in a room like this, where I'm certain, and we have recognized a number of folks tonight, that we are just in a room full of what I like to call baton holders. Like in any community, for something to exist for this long, somebody had to hand it off to somebody who handed it off to somebody. And I'll tell you, when Paul was announcing the Metro Committee that was here tonight, each one of them served or cared for me when I was here. And I moved here 25 years ago and left 17 years ago. We're baton holders, but we just got a few folks that are still running alongside with us. So it's my privilege to ask you to partner deeply or more deeply than you ever have. And I doubt that there's anything that you've heard or seen tonight that would dissuade you from that. Young Life is effective. And I would say to those of you that have been around for a long time, whatever you remember Young Life is doing, we're still doing it. I'm the regional director in the North Puget Sound region. I live just north of Seattle. And I say to my Young Life staff all the time, I wish I needed to tell you that when you go to the high school or the middle school, when you go to the alternative school, when you go to the daycare where the teen moms are, make sure you get there early so all the parking's not taken up of all the other people who are rushing out to hang out with adolescents. I wish that I would have to say that. But usually, front row parking is still available. We as a community, though, 60 years of running towards kids. When others, I'm not sure that people want to run away from kids. I just think, and I'm so grateful for the things that you've been teaching, not only us here tonight, but Tanita is really teaching our entire mission, is we're afraid. We're not sure we have anything to add. And yet Young Life is made up in a community really, really well when folks say, well, I don't think I have enough, but maybe if you go with me, I just might get out of the car this time. The first 3 times I went to do contact work at Lindbergh High School, where I was tasked with starting Young Life, I did not get out of the car. I prayed. I was a good prayer. I was an okay prayer. I was not a very good prayer. And so I would pray on the way there, and then I'd get there, and then I would there's not happening. This is not going to happen here. So then after the 3rd time, I brought somebody with me. It's a good lesson. This is Young Life 101. Don't go alone. Do you want to partner with, you want to move more deeply with Young Life here in Tucson? We wouldn't even let you go alone if you wanted to. If something's moving in your heart tonight that you want to be a wildlife or a Young Life college leader, we won't let you go alone, but we'll train you and we'll add you to a team and we'll go. And Christ in us, oh, the hope of all the glorious things to come, watch things change on campuses. But I'll tell you what, going just with one friend wasn't great either. It's my friend Jeff Watling, and I hate to talk bad about people when they're not here, but let's talk about Jeff. Jeff, who I should say this, he is the one who invited me to Young Life Camp in 1985. He and my two Young Life leaders. I had two actual Young Life leaders. Their names were Steve Petermeyer and Bob Hurlbutt. Those are fantastic names. I was 17 years old, and we never called them by those names. We had so many nicknames for those guys. It's like, I mean, you can't give us that kind of material and not want us to use it, right? But I had two Young Life leaders because one reached out to me at the end of my sophomore year. For those of you who are younger here tonight, he used a camera that you would take a photograph with, and then you'd have to go develop that thing. You can look it up on the YouTubes. It's fantastic. And then a week later, he took a picture of me winning the sophomore district meet in the 2 mile, and then he handed me a picture of myself, and he goes, "Hey, way to go." And I was like, "Who's that guy?" That was Steve Petermeyer. And he pursued me for the next couple of years and shared with me not only the gospel of God, but his very life as well. And I was interested and intrigued, but I just wasn't quite sure yet. And then he invited me to go to camp, but God called him to another community, so he wasn't there for me. So the leader on the other side was Bob Hurlbutt. And he was there at that beautiful camp that you saw with all the water around. And I know as desert dwellers, you're like, where is that? Can we go there? Yes, you can, but it's a long flight. I just, in a 15-minute quiet time, because the speaker had said, do you know that you are God's beloved? That God looks at you and thinks, kind of tied with everyone else in the world, you are my favorite. And I've created you so you won't find life anywhere else but in a relationship with me. Would you like a new life? And yes, I did want one. And only everything in my life changed. John 10:10 talks about completing the verse that you were starting about, stealing and thieving and destroying. And Jesus said this, but the good shepherd is coming this way. Here's God saying this, I came that you might have real and eternal life, more and better life than you've ever imagined. I wasn't having that kind of life, and I grabbed hold and thought, let's see if this works. Only everything in my life changed. And at Young Life banquets, you've already heard reasons to say, like, it's awesome to see kids whose lives are changed. But do you know that there's other reasons to invest in Young Life? Maybe you believe in global missions. Do you know how many people have been formed for ministry that serve all over the world that met Jesus Christ in somebody's living room here? Like, God is using, and I don't even care if it's Young Life. I don't care whose t-shirt you wear. We're very well branded, though, so probably it'll be one of ours. But those Christ followers who are just like, I can't help but tell these kids over here, banded together, have changed so many lives. The 8 years my family and I spent here, it was the greatest adventure of our entire life. We were terrified. We tried not to come. My wife and I came down here because, long story, but we just were certain the Lord was calling us to check it out, but we promised not to listen very well. And then God was screaming while we were here, and so we didn't talk to one another for a week. And then finally, we knew that God was asking us to come to a place where we knew nothing about, to bring our only 2 grandchildren in either side of our family. We were taking them away. I'm about to become a granddad for the first time. It's pretty exciting. I now know why my parents and my in-laws did not like us moving here at all. Our 3rd boy was born here. All 3 of our kids, if you ask them their hometown, they say Tucson, because they were formed here. They were loved on here. And they also got to see what the gospel was supposed to look like in action. In Joshua 3, not to bring it into a scripture piece here a little bit, but as they're going to cross the Jordan for the first time, there's this encouragement like, look, you need a guide because you're going to go somewhere you've never been before. And so this encouragement was, here's what you need tonight. Sanctify yourself, consecrate yourself, set yourself apart, for tomorrow the Lord will do amazing things in your midst. That was our 8 years here. 8 years where we saw incredible things happen. I got asked to serve on like every committee in Young Life after that. How'd you get so many leaders? How'd you start so many clubs? And I was like, the Lord. And they were like, that's great. And we're with you on that part, but could you just tell us a little bit more? I'm like, I mean, seriously, because you guys were around. It's like God was just doing stuff. But there was some secret to it, and that was this. As we thought of Tucson as a metro, as a city whose story was worth telling together. Because when you divide communities out, then sometimes people in this section of the community can say, they look over that community and they go, man, those kids are messed up. Somebody should do something about those kids. But when a city sees itself as a city, we're required to say this, we need to do something for our kids. God bless all of you that served before I got here. It just so happens that I was born right about the middle of Young Life's existence. And so I know that before I ever had a Young Life leader, somebody cared for them and sent them to me. And then I got to live in a period of time standing on the shoulders of others, many that you've heard about tonight, where then we said, what if we tell some other folks? And then it's expanded and grown. This is worth investing in. Absolutely life-changing. But I wanted to tell you this. It's easy for me to just tell you, you should consider giving. How much? That's really none of my business. I mean, I would say it's worthy of somewhere in between whatever you can do and everything you got. I mean, I will encourage you that if this year you decide to give of your life and your resources more to Young Life than you were planning to do when you came in here tonight, at the end of the year you will go, that was a good year. Like, I don't have to back that up. I'm just saying you should consider that. So when we come together, usually at events like this, we usually have 4 things that we want to do. 1, we want to celebrate what happened in the year past. In this night, we had a special opportunity to celebrate 60 years in the past. That's really, really great. The other thing we wanted to do is we laughed. We laughed hard. Joe, just the mustache alone was so good. The band games are fantastic. I can tell you, as a regional director, I tell the good leaders in my area, don't look at the band game list, because then you're going to be held accountable to that thing. Just don't hurt anyone, right? You know. And when I started on Young Life staff, the manual that was printed, that handed to me, had ideas for contact work, and among those was this, I kid you not, hop a freight. For those of you that are a little younger in the room, that would entail going down to where the trains are kept, looking for one that's a little empty, but maybe heading to the next town, and get on with your Young Life kids and just get down to the next town. It's like, yeah. Exciting stuff. Anyhow, we want to celebrate the last year of the last 60 years. We want to laugh, and we want to remember why it matters. We want to raise next year's budget, and we want to thank you. I'm just maybe spending a little bit more time on the thank you. I just want you to know this is a special community. It's deeply impactful. I looked at the list of folks that were coming tonight, and I just thought, how lucky am I that I could serve for a period of time, to have so rich friendships that have just absolutely formed me and my kids, and then just be able to just kind of pop in and hug and be hugged by so many other folks. Thank you. Thank you for how you poured into me and into my life, into my kids' life. And thank you that you continue to do that. It encourages me deeply. But I also do want to help you help us. I love this, and just structurally, just know this. Each of the different ministries, Nubia's, Joe's, Ben's, all the different ministries, Capernaum, Young Lives, everything that we have, they do other events, and there's golf tournaments, and like this isn't all that we do, but this is a super important one because it helps with the part that we haven't quite covered. And I would say, and Paul DeWert is an amazing leader, and he is a selfless leader, and as we talk about this, he wouldn't say it, so I'll say it for him. His desire is to make sure he's the backstop. If somebody in this community is like, Paul, we have a dream, but we can't reach it on our own, I'd like to help you get there. He's the backstop, and he's the glue kind of holding it together. And this is that kind of a night. The combined budget, it's a bit more than $60,000, okay? It is. But he said $57,000, $600, but it's the 60th year of Young Life here. Come on, are you feeling what I'm feeling? Let's go get ourselves $60,000 tonight, okay? And here's how we're going to do it. I don't know. But here's what I'd like to encourage you with is this. Play your part. And so if you will grab just the little forms that are on your table, I want to make sure that you know the best way to help us tonight. because I believe that you're generous. It's Friday night. You could have done other things. You're here. You love the community. You love kids. You love Christ. That's a dangerous combination for anybody that would stand against you. But sometimes money is needed. And here's how you can do that. Would you consider partnering with us tonight in two ways? I do get to speak at a few banquets, and people always ask me, should I give one time or monthly? And my answer is always the same. Yes. Here's why. Would you consider making a gift tonight? We're in November. It's the beginning of the holiday season. You're going to have other things you could give to. Would you think about a holiday gift? Would you think about a Christmas gift? Would you think about a year-end gift to Young Life tonight? But I'd also like you to think about partnering for the long term. When my mom first became a monthly donor in Young Life, it was awesome. And she would miss like 3 months of the year because it used to be there, you couldn't set anything up online, and you couldn't give your check and your credit card, and all these things are available to you now. And then once my mom set it up, now she's like, I don't know how to cancel the gift. And so she told me this. She said, when I pass away, my mom she likes this kind of humor. It's really fun for her. She goes, just keep taking the money until it's gone. So that's not what we're trying to do with you tonight. But I will. That came out different than I hoped, okay? Probably different than you hoped as well. But what if you wrote up here, I'd like to give a one-time gift tonight. I don't know, some portion that probably is more than you could give on a monthly basis. But would you consider taking that amount and maybe considering what could I do on a monthly basis as well? And maybe even that would end up doubling your gift. I know that many of you are already giving, and so there's a portion here where you could indicate that you want to increase your monthly gift or make a one-time gift. Here's the funny thing in a room like this. Not everybody has the same, and not everybody's called to give the same. And I will just say this on behalf of you as well. It's filled with generous people. You're already giving to other things as well. We totally realize that. We're super grateful that you're here. These kids are worth it too. Would we partner together tonight and figure out, take the next couple of moments, say, what is our part? You could indicate this on a sheet like this that's in front of you. And I also want to make sure that you know this. If you came here with one part of the area or another tonight, you're seated with them, all of your gifts, when you put these things into the envelope on your table, will go to that part of the city. The portion, the people that invited you here, it's super important to us that where you want your money to go to, that's where it goes to. We'll take care of that. We'd love to raise cumulatively $60,000. Paul said that's the immediate need, so we want to make it known. And I would ask you to do one other thing for us. Generally in a banquet, we make money by the people that are there that night, whatever they can give, and by them saying to the people they meet the next day, hey, you know where you should have been last night? There's a place in here for you to indicate that you'd like to introduce Paul or Nubia or Joe. You introduce the staff people to someone else. This is your town. These are your kids. I'm proud of you. Thanks for continuing to support them. God bless you. Paul, come up and close us a couple minutes.
We're just going to put on some music for just a little bit because sometimes people need a little bit of time to figure out what they're going to do, and then you can pass those envelopes around. So we'll play a little music, and then I've got just a few more announcements to make, and then we're going to be done for the night, okay? So we'll take maybe 2 minutes to do that, and then I'll come back and tell you just a few more things, and thank you for coming, all right? Give me just a little bit of time. tonight. I know we have done a lot. Did you have fun tonight? Did you have a good time? Was it good? Okay. So just a little bit of housekeeping. Pledge cards go in that big envelope. We're going to come around and collect those. If you are making donations and so on, we will be collecting those immediately after we finish up here tonight. I asked that the flyer for tomorrow be put back up. Tomorrow morning, we are doing our camp fundraiser. If any of you want to join us, you certainly can. The QR code on there right now would take you to the registration page. Anybody that comes to our 5K tomorrow and pays the registration fee is going to get, you see that logo that's on there that we stole from the U of A? We have T-shirts with that logo on them, so you get a T-shirt if you participate. We also have a bunch of leaders that are raising money directly to help send kids to camp. And so we'd love to have you join us if you want. And I told you earlier that registration for that is at 8:30. We will be at Children's Memorial Park in the morning. We'll start the walk or run, whatever you want to do. We have a special thing. The fastest leader from the 5K is going to get a free camp trip for any kid they want. So that's for the leaders in the room. And then we do have a prize for fastest guy and fastest girl. And then from there, we're going down to our tailgate party. It's 5 Points intersection. If you know where that is, it's where Stone and 6 kind of run into each other. And the office is 725 South 6th Avenue. We'd love to have you come down. Tailgate party should start around 11 o'clock. The U of A game's at 1:30. We're going to have food. It's open and welcome. Everybody's welcome. So if you want to come down and see our office, see where we're hanging out, see Larry's beautiful new building down there, the Baffert building, we'd love to have you. So that's what's coming up. We're going to put some music back on, and that is the end of our night. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you had a great time. We appreciate you.